Hey everyone, it's Susan Pierce Thompson and welcome to the weekly vlog. So I want to tell you 3 stories this week. The first is about Lynn Colston. So Lynn Colston was an attorney who didn't practice law and a yoga teacher who didn't teach yoga. And she didn't practice law and she didn't teach yoga because she is a food addict. And she spent her time eating in the attic. She was 5'2", 5'3", and at her peak weighed about 250 pounds, and her knees were so bad that she couldn't get down the stairs in the attic. So her husband would bring her food up to her, and she stayed up there and ate, and that was her life. She had taught Bikram yoga, but she was so heavy that she couldn't do the postures. And then she got heavier and heavier and she just stopped teaching yoga. She was mortified. The students in the class were slender and, she just didn't feel like she could do it anymore. She found Bright Line Eating in early 2015 and she started to lose her weight. And while still on the weight loss food plan, still losing her weight, she started to feel so good that she ran a half marathon. And then once she reached maintenance, she ran a full marathon. She ran the Disney Marathon in Orlando, Florida. Had to get up at 2:30 in the morning to get to the starting corral on time. Ran it with her sister-in-law, finished it, rocked it. And her body felt so good that she took the Vinyasa teacher training certification and became a certified Vinyasa flow teacher. And now she teaches yoga. And not only does she stand in the front of the room with confidence, but she does all the postures with her students and just can't believe how good she feels in her body. And shortly after achieving all of that, she became the general counsel for Bright Line Eating and started practicing law again. Fancy that. So, that's one story. A second story, she's a bit of a thing, by the way, I'm not sure. She's going into her 4th year of maintenance. Lynn Colston is, with Bright Line Eating, 4th year of maintenance. She's like a size, whatever, negative. Oh, Lynn, we love you. The second story is about Catherine Lively. So Catherine Lively is on maintenance as well. She's 105 pounds down from her top weight. And she is a professor at Dartmouth, a professor of sociology at Dartmouth. And just recently, she got invited to become the dean of the college at Dartmouth, meaning like one of the highest ranking women at the college, I believe in the top 2 highest ranking women at the college, and like the person responsible for undergraduate academic affairs. And she let me know, she said, Susan, I never, ever would have taken that position if I weren't in a right-sized body. I just talked with her today to find out if it was okay if I told her story in this vlog. And she said, you know what, Susan, I've got 5 speeches to give in the next 4 days to the parents, to the students, to the faculty, to the incoming class, like the incoming freshman class at Dartmouth, Ivy League institution. They have to go, they have a checklist of things they have to do, and then they have to come present their forms to Catherine at an evening candlelight ceremony to commence their journey at Dartmouth College. She said, if I weren't in a right-sized body, I never would have taken that position. It's too public. It's too vulnerable. But she is in a right-sized body. She's rocking her right-sized body. And Catherine Lively is the dean of the college at Dartmouth. So the third story is about Joan Riley. Now, I met Joan Riley within the last month. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. I was in the Pacific Northwest. I traveled there a couple times recently. And we had a big gathering of Bright Lifers and Bright Line Eaters. And it was at someone's house, and it was, everyone brought their own dinners, and we all hung out for hours and hours. And we had some silent time where we just shared space together without words. And, we shared our meal and we took pictures, and we just a big kumbaya fest. We had so much fun together. So Joan Riley was talking to other people, and they're like, you have to go tell Susan that. You have to go tell Susan. So Joan comes over to me and she says, I have a story for you. And the story is this. She's 74. Little tiny thing. She's like 5 feet tall, 74 years old, little white-haired lady. And she says, 51 years ago, I gave a child up for adoption. And then I looked for that child for years, for decades. She said back in the day, there wasn't easy technology for adopted kids to find their adopted parents. So I went looking and looking and looking. And then one day my weight climbed above 300 pounds. 5 foot tall, 300 pounds. She said I stopped looking at 300 pounds because I thought I wouldn't want him to find me. So she stopped looking. And years and years and years and years went by. And then she found Brightline Eating in her 70s. She's lost 90 pounds so far, still going strong, never broken a bright line. And she said, at some point, my weight dipped down to a zone where I thought, I'm going to try to find my son. And she said, the first moment I tried, I found him. That fast. And she told me, we're meeting on Saturday. So Joan sent me a message after she met with her son for the first time. She said she was sitting in the restaurant, so nervous. She saw him park his car and come out. She rushed out. They hugged so deeply. She said that hug lasted forever. And then he gave her a gift. And the gift was a little silver necklace with a silver bar with a bunch of numbers on it. And he said, Mom, that's the latitude and the longitude of my house, because I never want you to get lost from me again. They stayed and ate together for 5 hours. His wife came. She brought photo albums. She's going to go visit him for his birthday in December. So when we talk about living happy, thin, and free around here, sometimes someone who's really low on the susceptibility scale asks, what does the free mean? To which I usually say, freedom from food obsession, freedom from thinking about what you've eaten or not eaten, whether you're on your plan or off your plan, how many miles, how many calories, how many pounds, whether you're starting on Monday or the first of the month, freedom from all of that rigmarole. And if you're high on the susceptibility scale like me, that kind of freedom is priceless. But there's another kind of freedom that's even more priceless, which is freedom to live our right lives. Freedom to engage with life the way a human being is meant to engage in life. Freedom to live. Freedom to soar. Freedom to choose. Freedom to love. Freedom to show up. So if you're new to Brightline Eating, you're about to discover that what we offer here is so much more than a diet or a food plan or a way of eating or a way of getting into a right-sized body. Now, we are really proud of the fact that we help people get into a right-sized body, but the magic is what happens then. So many people are waiting to live their lives because they're focused on losing the weight first. If I could just take off this weight, then I could be the person I'm meant to be to show up for life the way I'm meant to show up. And I was that way too. Whenever I felt the call to self-actualization, that Maslow's hierarchy, that pinnacle of the hierarchy, the call to self-actualization, I'd make a list and number 1 would be lose weight. I'm starting a diet. Here we go. And when it actually happens and the weight is actually not a problem anymore, there is so much life available on the other side. So that's the weekly vlog. I love you. And here's to living our right lives.